Good morning, my community. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes, a little bit of everything. So many of you may have noticed that I haven't really been working for almost a year now. It's been right at 11 months except here on the farm. So Greg and I made a decision that we wanted to go ahead and try to get our farm up and running full speed ahead. So I left my job, a very good job, making over $100,000 a year to start our farm. And we're going to discuss some of the trials and tribulations and some of the things you need to know before you might make a decision to do something like that. We're also going to talk about a catastrophe that happened yesterday. But we are standing on faith, guys. So here is a day in our life, maybe 2 days in our life, of what it means to start a small community or family farm to support your family and those around you. Okay, it's 5:41 a.m. Got the kitchen clean. That's the first thing I do in the morning. Now it's time to go feed the chickens. So this is what my kitchen often looks like on a small farm. We do not leave our veggies out, and right now we do not have a place to put them to keep them cool, especially in these hot summer months. So we set up our market in the morning, and then we bring everything back in the afternoon. So it's going to be another hot day today in Texas. I try to go ahead and feed my chickens early in the morning and make sure they have fresh water. But Greg also has set up an automatic waterer inside their pen so that they have water, fresh water running all the time. But I do like to go ahead and fill their waterer inside the pen so that they have two sources. So we have an automatic light out here so we can see what's going on. Good morning, girls. How are you this morning, my girls? Y'all ready to go outside? It's nice and cool this morning. So go ahead and gather the eggs. And you can see they're quite feisty in the morning. It's real important that we give them fresh water every day. Get this baby filled up and then I hang it up. So I have a little hen that wants to brood. She wants to sit on some eggs in the corner of the pen, and we just can't let her right now because then she sits in there all day and won't come out. And right now, frankly, it's too hot for her not to come out, so we have to be sure and gather all the eggs. I do want to hatch eventually, but right now is not a good time because I don't want those girls inside that pen in this extreme heat. So I have a customer that wants 3 dozen eggs this morning. So I have to sort through the eggs and put them in my cartons, and then I need to stick a sticker on the outside of the carton so that they understand that these are unwashed. So we want to open the market today. I have to come out here and start setting it up. This is our little area on our property where we set up our market. I like to put my fresh herbs out there because they are really absolutely delicious. Here is a basket of tomatoes that we'll start with, but once I get them out there, I have to go through them and make sure and remove any of these with bruises or splits. So right now, we're in between seasons, kind of, guys. Our squash and our cucumbers have just about gone by the wayside and stopped producing, so we have to make a decision. Do we go ahead and replant some, which we think we are, so that we can get a second harvest of our summer vegetables, because we can do that here in Texas and start all over. But right now our market is going to be focused on the purple whole peas, which will start coming in, and okra, which is starting to come in. And then we will start on our fall planting as well. And so we'll need to start planning what seeds we're going to need, where we're going to plant it, how we're going to maintain it. So many decisions, especially this time of year, because we are in July now, and most of our harvest comes in, our spring and summer harvest comes in May and June, and then we get hot here in Texas and things start to burn up, and they come to the end of their life cycle, which is normal. Here's another batch of tomatoes, and you can see they're getting quite ripe. So we'll put some of these out, but the majority of them will go back into the house after I set up my stand. And what we'll do with these is I'll make my salsa, or I'll make my spaghetti sauce, or I'll make tomato sauce, blanch them and freeze them so that we have them long term, or we'll can them up. We don't let anything go to waste. So in the morning time, we spend setting up our market and serving our customers. In the afternoon, we spend cleaning up and then canning, and then we cook dinner. The heat's pretty extreme in the afternoon, so we let the doggies out and they run until I'm able to open my market. Now it's time to go check and harvest. So I'm on the hunt for okra and maybe some squash this morning. Squash is dwindling down, but okra is starting to really come in. So it's time for okra picking. Now, if you don't pick your okra when it's ready, it gets a little bit too big. So I think we caught these in time. It's time to snip, put them in our bucket and see what we got for the day. So this is my morning ritual, guys. I got to get in this high tunnel before it gets too hot. But here in Texas, we have chiggers. Ooh wee, that's a nice one. And when I get in this okra patch, I usually end up with chiggers. So it's an everyday occurrence that I have bugs and chiggers on me first thing in the morning. And so I will wear my t-shirt to come pick, and then I will go in and change for the market, and then I will shower in the afternoon, and then I will have to apply Chig-Away to various parts of my body because of insect bites and chiggers. Ugh. We are always looking for that gem down in these here plants. See if we've got something growing. We're leaving these hanging on just by thread because there's still some fruits on them. You can see over there I got some patty pan. That has become our favorite squash. There's some over there too. So I've picked over the jungle of okra. Not bad for a Monday morning harvest. That'll certainly feed us a couple of days. Now it's time to inspect what we got growing still. So this is parsley, guys, and I've been freeze drying it and it's doing pretty well. And I did go ahead, as you can see, and start some more bush beans in this raised bed to get us one last harvest. We were able to can quite a bit, but I want to can some more. Here are our sweet potatoes. They're looking pretty good. They won't be ready though for another 2 months. Checking our plants for seed pods that we want. These are about ready to come off for planting, replanting next year. About all we got left in this little high tunnel are some beautiful herbs that we are keeping alive and healthy, and they smell so good. Whew. And I have a tub of sweet potatoes in here. I planted the slips very early in here, maybe even late last year, to see if I could get some in here. So these are looking pretty good as well. Next is harvesting our peppers. So we have some Anaheim, some bell peppers, some jalapenos. So we want to get these harvested. So here's my bounty for this morning. Again, I've got bell peppers, some Anaheims in there, some jalapenos. And while I'm working my market and sitting in between customers, I come out here and it's seed harvesting time. Now this is dill. We let it bolt. I did harvest some on Saturday, but let me see if you can see that beautiful little dill seed. So we'll get this taken off here sometime today. Not all of it, but we'll start on it and start saving our seed for next year. Look at these buttes, guys. These are Brandywine, and they are just absolutely enormous. I mean, I can't tell you how big those are. Those are probably about 1.5 pounds, quite possibly a 2-pound tomato. So it's 7 o'clock this morning. So far I've cleaned the house, fed my chickens, picked all of our peppers for the day, picked what little squash and zucchini we have. Got a little bit set up here on the market. Now it's time to go pick tomatoes and get them all packaged up. And I also did get our okra picked. Now it's time, guys, to start weighing out our okra and get it packaged up. Now we could buy the little baskets, like these bigger bushel baskets, but why? Whenever we have reusable plastic containers. That's just an expense, guys, right now that we are gonna forego and just do this for now. So I've sorted through the tomatoes, and these are the ones that I think will sell. Now, our customer demographics, we have those who want the very ripe ones, who's getting ready to make their salsa or their salsas. And then we also have those who want some that aren't so ripe, that they can sit on their counter for a couple of days. These are the ones that I think don't look so pretty. They're either bruised or they have some splits. And these are the ones I'll use to make my salsas and my salsas. So at 7:34, the market's now set up. I went and did my advertisement out on our Facebook to tell people what we had today. Pop took the trash out. Now it's time to go in and vacuum the house, because, you know, we do have dogs, and I need to keep that vacuumed up because of the dog hair. Never ending, guys. So it's 8:08. Went and changed my clothes, and I got my 4th of July attire on. Pop is opening the gate, getting ready for the market. Greg is in the big high tunnel, getting ready to do some more planting. So now we have the market from 8:30 until noon today. And then after that will be, I'll need to probably maybe unload the freeze dryer and also process those tomatoes I showed you earlier. So most of my exercise is done for the day, guys. I do my steps, and I reach my goal usually around 10 a.m. So we're getting good exercise. So the market's open, and Pop's gonna sit there because I gotta make a run up to the feed store and get some feed for the girls, my chickens. Day 2, my friends. It's a little cooler this morning, thank goodness. So the kitchen's been cleaned, bed's been made up. Now it's time to come out and inspect the crops, see what needs watering today. Today is the 4th of July, Independence Day. And so me and Miss Bear will be headed to a hotel tonight because of the fireworks scene. We stayed Saturday night, and Greg said it was pretty awful out here. And then there was a little bit last night, but we really expect it to go gonzo tonight. So got to get a lot of things done today. I got to can some more salsa. We had a real good day at the market yesterday. Business seems to be picking up by word of mouth, so we're very blessed and very thankful for that. We're not going to do the market today because we had something happen yesterday that just really threw a loop, a big loop in our life. So as you saw earlier in the video, I was on my way to get chicken feed yesterday morning. Oh, this big high tunnel's nice and cool. And my truck engine blew up. Yes. So Greg and I do not carry any debt. My truck is a 2013 Dodge Ram. It has been a great truck. It's a beautiful truck. It has 171,000 miles on it, I think. And the engine just completely blew, locked up on me. We had it towed to our mechanic. We have a very good mechanic, a very trustworthy mechanic. And it looks like we're looking at getting a new engine. It's discouraging because I've taken such good care of that truck. I've always put premium oil in it, and I got it serviced even before it was supposed to get serviced. And just made sure everything was taken care of. So I was a little shocked, and because I really expected it to last me the rest of my life. The truck is in excellent shape as far as the chassis and the body and, you know, tires and all the other working components. And so we prayed about it, and we feel like we're going to have to get a new engine because the truck is in such great shape that I could probably go find a car for the price that it's going to cost me to get a new engine, and he's saying about $10,000. So if any of you guys in the community know anything different, anything better, or anyone, please do leave a comment below or send me an email at hbjtexas2020@gmail.com. But so we think that we're going to have to pull the trigger on a catastrophic expense, as far as I'm concerned, of about $10,000 to get a new engine in that truck. And we do need the truck for the farm, guys. You need a truck if you have a farm. And again, the rest of it is the interior, the exterior, everything is just in great condition. We could go get another car for about $10,000, but it's going to have high mileage too. And we really just want to keep my truck going, hopefully until I die. This most certainly is an unplanned expense, and so you always need to be prepared for an unplanned expense. So that would kind of make it a planned expense, but let me tell you guys, it was completely unplanned for us. It is most assuredly heartbreaking. Just made me sick to my stomach whenever we got that news, but we're believing that the Lord's going to provide and give us direction and help us to get this taken care of. There's a lot of things, guys, that we do without being a small family farm. A lot of the things that we took for granted and enjoyed have kind of gone by the wayside. We rarely get to go out to eat. We go to church on Sunday, which is probably our biggest social gathering, and that's probably the only day I put on makeup. And that's another thing, ladies, you might want to keep in mind is I could put on makeup every day, but my goodness, with this heat and with getting out here in these gardens, I'm not going to put on makeup. I'm not going to sweat it out. So I really don't have the desire to wear makeup when I'm working out here in the garden. And of course, our apparel, or our what am I trying to think of? Our clothing is very limited right now. It's shorts and t-shirts, and let me show you about our shoes. So we often have to have a good pair of slip-on garden shoes, and guys, I will wear these, and you can see I already got a couple of holes in them, but I'll wear these until they fall off my feet. And Greg has, bless his heart, he has such a hard time. He wears a size 12 wide, and it's hard to find him shoes that are comfortable to him because his feet bother him a lot climbing up and down on ladders. And so whenever we find him a pair of shoes that are comfortable to him, he really wears them out. And I'm talking holes the size of my fist that he fully believes in duct tape. So here's all my stuff from the market yesterday. And on today's agenda is to unload this freeze dryer with our freeze-dried tomato to make tomato powder. And can more salsa, because we did sell quite a bit of our salsa yesterday. So it's going to be a busy morning. I got to unload that freeze dryer, and I've got to get salsa canned up. Update on my oats, guys. Greg didn't want me to pull them. He wants me to let them reseed at least another season so that we'll be prepared to plant out here next spring. And so here are my purple hull peas. So vacation is out of the question for us, at least for now. I mean, we certainly can't be away from the farm for even just one day because of the watering that takes place and making sure that things are taken care of. But especially this time of year, like tonight, me and Miss Bear are going to go to the hotel where Greg and Hank can't join us, and Pop, to get away from the fireworks, because we have to make sure that things don't catch on fire, because you can see how dry everything is out here. And we just simply can't risk, look at that sunrise, isn't that beautiful? We simply can't risk not being home and a fire happening out here and burning down things. And also those high tunnels, if a firework lands on top of them, it could really burn a hole through that top layer, and that could cost us dearly. So Greg has to make sure and water the tops of those high tunnels to make sure that we are all set in the event something like that happens. This all may sound really down and really bad for all you guys, but it's not, because guess what? I get to see my land. I get to come out here and talk to the Lord. I get to tell him good morning while looking at that beautiful moon up above that you saw a while ago. It's a challenge, but we enjoy being outside, and we enjoy working the farm, and we enjoy being together, and we have a nice little family unit with our pop here, so there's 3 of us. In fact, we're almost too big for just the 3 of us, and word of mouth is traveling quite well with our market. So this is our 2nd summer that we sold our produce, and we have done way better this year than we did last year. We did not sell any fall garden, but we are going to this year, and then we will have, I'm just convinced of it, a much better year next year. Looky there, I'm starting to get some little watermelons, guys. Woo, how exciting. So health insurance is a big concern, guys. You need to make sure you can find you an affordable plan, one that you can use for your, what's most important for you. You know, is it a high deductible catastrophic plan? Is it one that pays for your prescriptions? So you need to research and do all of that and make sure that you can find you a good health plan. But there's another one that a lot of us don't think about, and that's life insurance. So when I was employed and making very good money, I had life insurance, and my employer paid for it. And if I wanted to add on to it, which I did, it didn't cost very much at all, and it was a substantial amount. And so when I left my job, I had to go and search for some life insurance for both Greg and I, because you have end-of-life expenses, and you have like funeral expenses. And let me tell you something, it was $18,000 to bury my mother. That was sticker shock for us. And so we have to make sure that we have life insurance for our loved ones, so that we don't leave them hanging for something, for just to bury us, just to bury us. And even cremation was, I think, was going to be $7,000, and that's just not something that we wanted to do. And Pop and Mom already had their plots paid for, and bless their hearts, they thought that was the most expensive part, but it wasn't, guys. It was not the most expensive part. The most expensive part was keeping my mother's body okay until the funeral. It was the casket, of course, or the coffin, whatever you want to call it. We had to get a waterproof vault. I mean, it was just, they just hit us up with everything. I felt like I was buying a used car, honestly, or a car, because they would come in the room and out of the room and come back with a new expense, and it just kept going. $1,900 to dig the hole. But anyway, so these are things you need to think about if you decide you want to leave your job and become a farmer. Of course, you know, I take advantage of all the grocery store sales, and because I share those with you guys and let you know what I'm finding. And you know, hamburger meat on sale. We buy that hamburger meat like crazy. Butter, dairy, certain things that we keep on hand. Of course, we've got our vegetables here, but you know, bacon's a big thing. I know a lot of you don't eat bacon, but we do, and we use it in a lot of our cooking, especially with our vegetables and stir fries and stuff. So we have to really look for good deals out there on our groceries. And let me tell you something, Dollar Tree has become my best friend. I get my cleaning supplies, my dish soap, you know, just any of those things that are $1.25. May not be the bigger sizes, may not be the economical size, but you know what? $1.25 at a time, I can do. We certainly don't do without, and we are so thankful for that. You know, we can't go out and get our steak dinner like we used to, or you know, go spend some money on a new wardrobe or whatever, but we don't need to. And in fact, now I'm saving money on makeup because, you know, I still have good makeup in there from when I was working, so I don't use a lot of that except when I go to church. Cutting my hair, I've pushed out cutting my hair from 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and the one thing, ladies and men, that you're going to need is a good facial moisturizer with an SPF, because I do, you guys may remember last year I had a skin cancer spot here, but I get these spots all over my face that I have to go into the dermatologist, and they have to freeze off to keep them from going into a cancerous spot. And so a good moisturizer and a good sunscreen is what you're going to need. I do not believe that we left the comforts of life by any means. In fact, I think that our life is more enriched right now. It gets shaky, it gets scary, it gets concerning like yesterday, but I know the Lord's going to provide. I know He's going to take care of us, and He's going to make a way. He makes ways where there is no way, but we are probably living a much healthier life because I am getting so much exercise out here. Greg is getting so much exercise out here. I'm taking care of these gardens and making sure that everything is in place and everything is doing well. And we do have setbacks. We have setbacks, but our quality of life has not gone down, guys. I believe our quality of life has gone up. When I worked outside the home, I would leave around 4:30 in the morning. So I was up about 3:30 a.m. I'd get to work at 5 and I'd get home around 3:30. And I was spent, guys, and I was exhausted. And, you know, sitting behind a desk sometimes is more exhausting than physically exerting yourself. So weighing my quality of life, I'm able to be outside. Sometimes it's hard because it's hot. But I'm able to be outside. I'm able to engage with nature. I'm able to engage and speak to the Lord all day. You know, in all honesty, when I worked outside the home, I would come home, take off my makeup, get into my jammies, go to Jammy-land, eat dinner, go to bed, and start right back over. And that's changed. It's been a hard change for me because I've done that for almost 40 years. But it's a good change. It's a good change. And we are just praying that the Lord continually blesses our efforts here. And our community here that comes out and buys our vegetables are like-minded. And we had a wonderful woman named Natasha come by yesterday to buy her vegetables, and she prayed with Greg and I, and just such a wonderful prayer. And engaging with our community and getting to know them is paramount, guys, paramount in these days and times. And our community is getting to know us. And so we are really forming a great community like we have here on our channel. And you can hear the birds, guys. You can hear the birds. I never heard the birds when I was sitting in my cube. But let's go back to the life insurance. So we have found that our best pricing for the life insurance that we needed came through our credit union, believe it or not. I priced it at all the other ones, and our credit union gave us the best deal for life insurance. So I did want to go ahead and throw that in. So for any of you that are farming or want to start a farm, can look into your credit union for your life insurance. And I'll say the absolute best part about starting our small farm, guys, is it has changed my mindset of being self-sufficient because I was working and making good money and didn't seem to have financial worries or anything. It has driven me back to my Creator, who also has created all of this and given us the ability to manage. The law of sowing and reaping is what we practice. That is a universal law. The law of sowing and reaping applies to everything, not just plants. It applies to how we treat each other, how we treat others, your giving. So there is a universal law in effect, and it has driven me to spend a lot more time with the Lord, to understand, to ask Him to guide us on our path, to bless the work of our hands, and to rely fully on Him, because we have to rely fully on Him to be successful and to have our needs met. And He has come through every single time, and He's going to come through on my truck motor. I know He is. This video is not meant to deter anyone who may want to start up a small family farm and start going into it. I just wanted to give you a little bit of education and show you a little bit about our days and how things went around here, and how our faith life has changed, how our walk with the Lord has changed, how our financial mentality has changed, how our health has changed, how our exercise regimen has changed, how our days have changed, and how just growing closer together as a family has changed. Now, it doesn't go without hiccups, and it doesn't go without concern, and it doesn't go without sometimes some strife. But guys, we work it out, we go to the Lord, and we get things sorted out, and we're thankful for the life that the Lord has given us. And the best thing you can do for us right now is pray for us, and just ask the Lord to continue to bless the work of our hands, and to bless our farm, and to watch our YouTube, and to share our community with others. That does give us a little bit of extra income. It's not what you guys think by any means, but it does give us a little bit of extra income. And so, yeah, that's what you can do for us. Pray for us. Pray for us daily. We pray for you guys. When I see your concerns come across in the comments, I stop and pray for whatever is going on in your life. We love you. We cherish you. We are so thankful for each of you and this community, and how you allow me to share and be honest with you and just tell you kind of what's going on in our life. So if you have any questions, again, email me or put your comments down below. We love you. Take care. God bless. Have a wonderful Independence Day. May God bless you, and may God bless America. See you soon.